We're here for the Wells Family Association. We're doing a tour of the Wells grave, starting Richard Wells. We're going to have 5 cemeteries we're going to be visiting. We're now on the Old Log Church Cemetery. And first I want to introduce everybody. Susie's with the Camry. Don McFadden, and he's a new cruiser with us. And then Karen Patton Harrod and Charlene Patton Muncie. And I am Mary Walton, Mary Wells Walton. And so we're going to tour all 5 cemeteries today and do a video. And I want to first say, this is a monument that the Wells family bought because there's so many of these graves up here that just have rocks at them. So anyway, we couldn't find out exactly where people were buried. The things that chiseled off in the rocks and everything. So these are the people we knew that was in here. So that's why we put this down like this. And Don, if you noticed, Roseanne, you came down her too.
Yes.
Okay. So we know that Moses Wells was here. Susanna Hutchison is here. Richard Wells' wife, the mother of all of us. And she was buried here. And why she was buried here and he's buried over there, I don't know. And so I try to put a little enlightenment on that with John Wells, but he don't know really either, other than some gossip. But anyway, Moses was here, and then Margaret Hillman, he married Margaret Hillman, and she's here. And then Samuel Clark, who was my great-grandfather's here, and Susan Wells Clark, she was William Green Wells's daughter. And and that's my great-grandmother. And then Polly Clark, and Logan Hibbett, and Betty Hibbett. Betty is Susan and Samuel's daughter, and her little girl, Susan Hibbett. Those people we knew were buried here. Now there's Charles Morgan Wells was buried here, Moses' son, too, his and Margaret Hillman's son. And Charles Morgan's his name. They were buried right over here somewhere. Oh, right up there, they got a stone. That's Bobby Wells's family. Yeah, they come down Bobby Wells's family. So when we get through looking here, you might want to take some pictures of the different stones because people may not know who's here. But you see, it's not in the best condition, but it's not going to be as bad as some that we find today. You want to put the camera on each one of them to let them know who they are? Okay, this is Charlene Muncie.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, say hi. This is Karen Harrod.
Hi.
This is Don McFadden.
Hi.
And can you take a picture of yourself? Susan Music Wells
Coburn.
Hi. There you. That's Charlie Clark, because Manfred and I put that in. So Charles Morgan is buried up here. This is Bobby's family. All the way up to the top of the hill.
So many of the old cemeteries
This is some of Bobby's family that comes down. Moses Wells from Martin Hillman. Dingus, and she married Charles Morgan Wells, son of Morgan, Moses rather. Suzanne Dingus. And this one over here is Charles Morgan, and they put Bobby and them had this done on it. And now they had a child here. They had this little section screened in, fenced in, and the fence was all down. And they had a child here, and I don't see it now. But there's a lot of rock in them. But the thing about it is, any letters that was on them is gone. All these years, you know. You see, they put a good 2 pretty markers on there. Bobby's family did that. Look at these stones. It's sad, isn't it? Huh? Yeah. Yeah, and probably they've been trees growed right up in. Look over all over the bank, there's stones. Markers. person I can ever remember. And that's it. She died in 1947. I knew it here after the high school. Born in 1873. And that was her husband. Her name is Elizabeth Betty, because Betty is Elizabeth. Betty's short for Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we fixed it that way. Yeah, when I used to come over to visit with Grandma and them, me and Georgie and all them played up here on this hill. Mm-hmm. She's my great aunt, my grandmother's sister.
Bunch of
Yeah,
red
probably.
buds growing around here.
Push it on down through there. Next thing you know, it'll be on the green. Like these ones. I wish we had somebody to clean up the graves and cemetery.
Yeah. Maybe that will be. Maybe use some of the money that we got maybe.
I don't know. Watch you coming over this fence is laying down. Be careful, Karen, coming up. Get back up on the hill. I think Charlene and Don decided they're going to get up the ghost down there.
So yeah, right around where you are there is where Samuel L. Clark is, in that grass.
Oh, wait, here's one too.
Yeah, that's Samuel.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you say, Karen?
She died in 1913, Susan did. But Samuel lived longer after that. She was born in 1846 and died in 1913. Her name is Susanna Wells and Clark. She married Samuel Clark. She's the one I showed you in that picture in there, the man with the beard.
Yes.
Was him over there.
Okay.
That's Samuel.
It's so nice to be able to put faces.
And then
With
his
names.
dad was the one with the one eye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's Samuel, and here's Suzanne. It's got a CM on it, ain't it? Isn't that what it says? CW. That's who that could be. Well, now we're going to head out. We're going to head down to the Richards grave cemetery at Ashley Butcher's because we passed it up coming up. We did this number 1. So we'll do number 1 for number 2. Okay?
Okay.
And we'll head for Richard Race. So we all made it. We're now on the Richard Wells Cemetery at Ashley Butcher's place, home. And if you see all the houses around here, that's all his children built homes right around in here. So that's where we're at now. We're going to tour this grave and we're going to talk about it. This used to be called the Walkhead Holler. Years ago when I was a girl, that's what they called it. Walkhead Holler. And he was a Revolutionary War soldier. And he was born in 1760, I believe it was. Yes. And he was born on Chestnut Street in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And he went to Augusta, Georgia to be with his Uncle George, who's supposed to have educated him to be a doctor. And then the Revolutionary War broke out, but Uncle George had a duel and he was killed. He fought in a duel and he was killed. So, and he was a doctor too. So then Richard Wells went with the Revolutionary War and he was there. He went back to Virginia, Scott County, Virginia, and met beautiful Susanna Hutchison and married her. And all these children and all of us come down from that family. So right over here is his grave. Richard Wells right here. You want to get all this? Mm-hmm. Somebody's decorated and I think that's wonderful to have. He was in the Georgia militia.
It's been a while.
Yeah. Well, it just don't want to stand, does it? And now, this was the stone he had years and years and years ago. And you can see it over here. And John put that one on then, had the government to get the new stone, put this as a footstone.
Because he was a Revolutionary War.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a Revolutionary War. The Georgia militia. And so you see, he was the only one buried here for years. He was buried in 1938, yeah, I'll try and right, 38, thought it was. And he was the only one for many, many years. And I'll tell you the little story behind that. They said, see, he lived over here and they said he was walking on the farm and he come up through there and they said he saw a big light up here. And they couldn't, it was unexplained. They didn't know what it was. And he said, that's where I want to be buried. And that's where they buried him. He asked the family to bury him here. And so that's why he's here. So I'm just thankful that they keep it up so nicely. The butchers has really done a beautiful job and they keep it up. And now we want to look at all these other graves too and see who they are and get pictures of them. Who is that there? Can you tell who that is?
It's his father.
Uh-huh. But this down here doesn't say anything, does it?
No.
Uh-huh.
Huh, I don't know what it is. They've got a lot of new ones here. This is really good. Oh, I remember the old one. You remember? No, you don't remember. So there's John if you remember the two guns. This is Willie Butcher. That was Ashley's brother. I remember him. See, him and Ashley were brothers. Look at here how they got this shelter over all over. I like it better without the shelter, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Because you can't get grass or anything to see there's. And their picture is up there too, Ashley and Nora. She was a Nora Webb. She's Loretta Lynn's aunt.
Really?
They have their children listed here.
Clara B. Miller. That's some of their family. This was Charlie Malone. You remember Charlie Malone? That's his Marie. She was a niece of Malone. She's the first cousin of Loretta Lynn. Who is up there?
Simon Peter Webb.
Okay. He's from the Norris family.
Right, didn't William Green
He's up at, he used to be over at Boone's Creek.
Greasy Creek.
Greasy Creek. And
Oh,
they moved,
yeah.
John and him had him moved
Okay.
out there on Depot Road.
And I tell you, I think his wife Mary was buried up in his family somewhere. Did he meet her? He was aiming to, I don't know.
You mean in Greasy?
You know, or somewhere in Van Lair, she was where the butchers were. Now we have found out where every one of Richard Wells's children is buried, except two of them. And that's two daughters. One of them married a Webb and one of them married a Butcher. I'll tell you who they are just a second here. Okay. Nancy Martha Wells married William Butcher. And then Mary Polly Wells married William Butcher. The other married William Webb, and this married Butcher. So them's the only two we don't know where they're buried at.
Okay.
Andrew's buried in Virginia, and Elizabeth, that married John Hillman's buried in Virginia. And John is buried in Lawrence County, Ohio. And Simon Peter is buried at Greenup County, out between Danville and Naples. So, what do you think so far? Y'all got a lot of questions?
Richard came from Virginia, didn't he?
He was born in Chestnut Street in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And he went to Augusta, Georgia, where his Uncle George was. And Uncle George was going to put him in medical school because he's a doctor. But he got in a duel.
So they weren't the typical ones that came in here from Virginia.
Well, he was, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, wait, after he went in, Uncle George got killed in a duel, so he was in the Revolutionary War, Richard was. And he was down at Boonesboro, Kentucky for some years, and then went back to Virginia, met Elizabeth, Susanna Hutchison, and married her. And then George E., who you and I descend from,
right.
was an Indian scout and would come to Kentucky all the time. And so he went back and told his dad what great hunting grounds was here, and you can lay claim on land. And they come up, pulled up roots and come, and all of them came but Andrew and Elizabeth. And they were both already married, so. Hope that all comes through good. Did it sound all right? Okay. Oh my gosh, he got Simon Peter Wells' name, didn't he? Oh, that's good. That's a pretty song.
This is Willie here, Sid. Right there's Willie.
Yeah, Willie, that's
Claire.
Ashley's brother. Ashley and Lewis and Willie, or what you call Bill, were all brothers.
They got their children.
So many of these graves are unknown. Well, I mean, they're unknown now.
It won't take you 10
I just
hours.
wondered if anybody had maps. I know Kim has maps. I know.
Beulah Kill did that too. Beulah Wells killed that.
That may be where she got her information.
Yeah, board members, and she was on the board. When I was here before, I cut a tree in. It's right up in the middle of that grave.
Mary,
What?
there's a guy that's coming to the house today. He just graduated from school. He worked at Lowe's. He's not getting hours. He charges $10 an hour for anything. He weed eats a lot. Maybe I can get him to come up here one day. I'll bring him up here.
Weed eat.
Weed eat. I know it ain't gonna take him no 10 hours to weed eat this.
Yeah.
So,
Well, if he just weed eat the main parts of it, because up there they did pretty good, but all down in here's nothing.
from his grandson. He graduated like
I wonder if that's some of James Grizzle's family.
well, it's Hester S.
Is here too.
Yeah.
You know, right out Route 5 and Belfont from us.
Now, I don't have his date of death.
You don't?
I had his date of birth,
I
but
think it's what year was
December
it?
14th, 87.
Yeah,
I didn't have-
1887.
So he lived a good long life, didn't
Oh
he?
yes, he fathered his children. Last child, Theodore, in his 70s.
Is he the one that had 16 children?
He had 21.
21 children. It was.
Yeah, 19.
They named so many of them, and then they said, and
Well,
16 more.
He had three wives. First one was Sally Young, and we don't know. We've never documented their marriage, but she seemed to have vanished from the earth. We've tried every way to find their marriage, but the courthouse burnt down in Floyd County one time,
Yeah.
so we've never been able to document that. But he had the child from the time it was a toddler, and the Hillmans in Scott County, they have in their book that she died just so many months after he was born. He was born in 1828,
Yeah.
and George Wash was. And so George E. raised him. And when he married Elizabeth DeLong Gaines, the widow of Noble Gaines, she raised him just like their son. So anyway,
I always thought it was fascinating about his middle name. Ireland spelled E-I.
spelled it with the, yeah. But anyway, then he married Elizabeth and they had 6 kids, I believe it was. See, that's on here. I think it's 6 or 7, but I think 6. Okay, let's see. They had 6 kids, I think. But anyway, he married her, and they had those. And then after, and that your great grandfather James was born in that family. And then he married the pretty little. I found her to be 15 years old, Nancy Butcher, and she was the sister to William Green's wife, Mary, and half sister.
Yeah.
So they had, I believe I said, seemed like they had 15 or 16 kids. Oh my, yes, they had a whole bunch of kids. Let's see, where did I have that at?
Yeah, I think that's where the 16 I got came in the last.
Yeah, they had 13 children, and 12 of them lived adulthood. And I knew 3 of them. I mean,
So in actuality, he should have been George Washington Wells, the father of our country.
well, his son was George Washington. That's what his son was, George Washington, yeah. But his son was George Washington.
Yeah,
And-
I knew that.
And that was my
I just thought that was-
great-grandfather. Yeah, and that was my great-grandfather. But then a lot of them has named their family George Wash after that, you know. But they had a way of naming them after presidents.
My great grandfather, Tessie's dad, was Ulysses Grant Burke.
Yeah.
And I was 11 years old when he passed. I remember my great grandfather. That's the only great grandparent I remember.
So this is George E. He was growing up. You see, we've got the ground cleared out around here, and this over here was who was that? Yeah. Oh, that's Kinsey Wells. Kinsey Wells was Alan Wells' son. Do you remember about Sammy Jeff from Wells shooting the guy?
Yes.
This is the guy he shot.
Uncle Sam. Mom always called him Uncle Sam.
Yeah, because he was come drunk on the back of a horse, and he's going to come in and
His daughter.
going to take his daughter.
Yeah.
What, Tishy was her name?
I remember that. Mom telling that story.
Yes, and that's who it was, Kinsey. And then
And-
Alan Wells is buried up here somewhere, right here.
And she said Uncle Sammy grieved himself to death over there.
Oh, I'd say.
Said he died.
Oh,
not-
there was a cousin. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is his dad, Kinsey's dad and mother.
Okay.
Yeah, she was.
Oh, I've heard Mom tell that story so many times about that.
Yeah,
He told him stop at the gate, and he wouldn't stop.
that's right.
And he shot him
He
and
said,
killed him.
"I'm taking her," you know.
Yeah.
Angeline Collins married Alan Wells.
So apparently a grand jury or nothing ever convened on that? He was never convicted?
Well, he had the right in the law in Kentucky is
Anything.
if somebody's coming in on you, you know that.
Well, I mean, if they come in your house,
And they're
the
gonna
way
take-
I understood
they're
that, he told him not to come
Yeah,
beyond
and
the
he's going
gate.
to take one of your children.
And,
My gosh, they were so close kin. John Walker Porter was Richard Wells's. See over here, they haven't been dead that long. Wilding hadn't died just not too long ago. Last year, I think they had it in the newsletter. Oh, they got American flag flying over here. Right over in there. You can see that we're at the Oxford Relocation Cemetery, and it is so sad to look around and you can't even see the stones. So many of the markers have been gone over with four-wheelers and tore up, and some of the graves is just covered with vines and trees and things. Down in these trees here, there's graves all in there, and they're all grown up, trees grown up in them. And this is the Porter's plot here, Noe Porter, and died in 1971, I believe it was, and his family, Nance and Dave and Nance Porter Collins. This is their grave right out here. And a lot of Theodore Porter and all of them was buried there. And they're just all grown up. And of course, you've seen Georgie's grave. It was deplorable. Every one of them are. And my Perry family is the same way. So I think we're all guilty of allowing this, but this is one of the problems you have of burying in a place that's not kept up. And I recommend you bury your family and loved ones where you can go and see that it's been taken care of. But anyway, we've all had an experience today. We've got 2 more cemeteries to go to, and it's now 20 after 11. And Susie and I started this morning, and we got up at 5 o'clock, and we started at 6 o'clock, and got into Paintsville and met the others, and then we've been on the road ever since. So we've toured Richard Wells' cemetery, we've toured the Old Log Church Cemetery where Susanna Hutchison Wells was buried, his wife, and 2 of her children, Moses and Rosanna. And then we now here, and we found the other son, the second son of Richard, Georgie, and he's buried right over here, and she's got that on her camera. Yeah. So we found so many other, his son Alan's right there beside of him, and with Alan's son Kenzie, so there's 3 generations right there together. So they're all, I don't know who this one is. Oh, this is Alfred A.M. Amberg. I don't know who that is. But there's people everywhere up here, and they're just grown up, sad. And now one end is kept up pretty good. They sent people up here to clean it, but nobody has done anything down here. So, but Don McFadden has had an experience today. He's thoroughly enjoyed this, and he did not know where his great Georgie was buried, and he's found that out. And he said it's been worth it all today. Even when we got through the first cemetery, it was worth it, he said. So we've done pretty good, and we hope that this will help you all some to enjoy the tour that we've had, that you don't have to go through all this. Okay. You all right? She may not be able to drive that truck off in that hill.
Okay, so you said this was...
This is Wallace Winfield Wells and Sally Burchett Wells, and Wallace Winfield Wells was the son of Alan Wells and the grandson of Georgie.
Okay.
Evidently his must be wife. And this is John B. Clark. See, the Clarks married the Wells, but and also interwoven somewhere. They're tied in with the Wellses and the Burchetts and all that. Grandson, Uncle George, Edith Mullet and Roger Mullet, mother.
Yeah. J.K.'s niece. Well, she told me.
Now you can get me and Don how we worked. Here we go.
Okay, let's reenact.
that while
Reenact. Yeah, the wild woman, Don calls me.
that while William Green was gone, they burned his church. Have you ever heard that story?
No, I hadn't. Families. And they had two churches. That's why you had two churches. You had the north and the south.
But you know that's terrible to burn somebody's church.
They had north and south. They had north and south in Louisa. They had one in Capistrano. No, not in Capistrano.
Right in the middle of all of that is where the graves are that we could not get to.
Right, absolutely.
We've tried very hard.
Well, did everybody survive those other cemetery visits?
I love it.
Love
That's my element.
He's on cloud nine for this.
I am really.
I'm glad.
I enjoyed it.
It's really been nice, but
I
it's
learned
been
a
lot
lot.
of work. And it really, I really am really low and feel sad about the Oxford Cemetery, that grave. And I think we need to do something about that. Get somebody to go in there and clean that up. Yeah. Yeah. I really do.
Yeah, that's a shame. They've done nice work.
Oh, we got a lovely marker there, yes. Well, now we are now at the Depot Road here in Paintsville at the Wells Cemetery. And we're at J.B. Wells Sr. And then William Green Wells is right here. They moved him from over at Greasy Creek. And there his wife, Mary Wells, is. And so William Green was fought in the Civil War, Confederate Civil War. And then we'll look around here, and up here is Charles, who also is a son of J.B. Sr.
And then there's one behind it, family of J.B. Wells Sr.
Yeah, that's J.B. Wells.
John Britton Wells Sr.
The first Charles.
Yeah.
Big part of our little part. Look at that little there.
Here's Charles Jefferson Wells here on this left.
Charles Jefferson,
That's Charles Jefferson on the left, who died in
1884, 1866.
Yeah, that's
84.
that's Charles Sr. I mean J.B. Sr.'s daddy. And then William Green Wells would be
Great,
He's
great.
back here.
great, yeah. The Wells family bought that. See there, it's got a W.A. in it.
Oh, uh-huh.
I didn't remember we done that. We bought so many, I just lost track. You see that? It's got our emblem on it. John must have done it and put it on there. and Susan Coburn, and yesterday we were in Johnson County. We toured 6 graves with Charlene Muncie and Karen Harrod and Don McFadden. So, and we didn't close it out yesterday, so we thought we would give you a little extra treat. And since Manford led the tours for so many years, we thought that we would include his stone in it. And then we got another one we're going to include in it before we quit. So this is Manford's, where he lays right here. Bless his heart. And we wanted to do this for you all. And she's took pictures of everything in stone, and she's took pictures. She's going to take some more pictures. So, and we'll go on to the other place now, and we really thank Don McFadden for going with us yesterday. He rode shotgun with us, and then there was Karen and Charlene, and we worked hours and hours and hours. So everybody was wore out last night. Charlene was sick yesterday even after all that, and we're hoping she's feeling better today, and I'm going to call and check on her after a while. So we're going to go on to the next place now we're going to show you. We're going to end up with Henry Clay Monument. Okay, we're now at John Britton Wells Jr.'s grave, and he's buried in the Hayman section. It's section 26, lot 43 and 44, him and his wife. And Martha's buried right here on the left, and John's right here. And then I guess that's her family there. So this is John III's parents. We thought while we were here this close, we would just take in all of them and that we know of. So Susan's done the video and done a good job. So, and we'll move on now. We're going to go to Henry Clay to give you a surprise there. Thank you. Now we'll see you over there. Okay, we're at the Henry Clay Monument right now. Henry Clay, and it's beautiful. No, the big tree, it's a virgin timber. I want you to look at that. And it's just gorgeous. And we're going to march right back down, go out march down here, because Susan's having time to get it all. We'll have to get on the front side for her to get the whole monument. Come on down this way, Susan. Right over here is a plaque if you want to get down. Tells you what it is. This is just a little extra treat for you people, for our family. 1787 and 19 and 67, 87. 1787, 1987. That's this tree. Unreal. Just unreal, Susan.
Yes, it is.
I've been here many times. Every time I come, I'm amazed with it. It's basswood. American basswood. I think you'll get a better picture probably from right here at the front. Look what a beautiful magnolia.
It is pretty.
Oh, here's the box turtle. Get her little box turtle. Just had his head out. Look at that. Little box turtle. Oh. My grandbaby would have had to pick that up. We were trying to beat the rain. We just had a good pour down earlier. Now right here is a dedication to the Honorable Henry Clay, presented by the River Raisin Chapter USD 18 and 12. June the 29th of 2002 is put in here. you want to look inside, that's where the surprise comes. You can see his and her team is sitting in there. What do you think about that? I know Susan is speechless. Susie's speechless.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. And you don't smell anything, do you?
Mm-mm.
His and her, there and over there's hers. Said in July of 1976, the weather-worn monument restored by state and local governments was rededicated and enrolled on the National Register of Historical Places.
I'm gonna get the top.
Okay. Oh, you want to get down there where you can get all that how tall it is. Can you imagine having a monument that big?
No.
If it fell, I just don't know. We wouldn't be even here if it fell. Be careful backing it, it'll fall.
I will. If not, it'll be a really funny video.
How tall would you say that is, Susan?
I have no idea.
It's tall, though, isn't it?
Very tall. I can't even imagine.
That's okay, come right on. Now we're finished and we're on our way home. And I told Susan it's already now 4 o'clock. She may just well stay tonight and go back in the morning. So we made 2 days of it anyway. So thank you all and hope you've enjoyed this. And I know Charlene and Don and Karen and Susan all welcomed you and thanks for watching it. And thank you for letting us do this.